Hi, thanks for joining me. Today I want to talk to you about my Loc Crossover Journey. And this part has been a journey. It's been about 6 months now. And part the way through it, I kind of broke down and went ahead and interlocked my hair. So my hair is interlocked, and this has been about, it's almost 12 years now, about 3 months shy of 12 years. I have been interlocking my hair. Well, when I look, I notice, to first glance, you look at my scalp, it looks like I'm losing hair, which I'm not. If you come in close, you'll notice the hair is turning gray. The hair is there, it's just turning gray. So it's time for me to think ahead some years. And doing so, I'm thinking it's going to be difficult. It may be difficult for me to do my own hair, continue to doing, because it is somewhat lengthy. Also, it would be not advantageous for me monetarily to do my hair. That's why I've been doing it myself, or advantageous for me to let someone else do my hair because there's so many locks in here. So therefore, I was going to do the twists. Now, the twist poses a couple of problems, and I'll show that to you. But I will show you where I'm at now. So, of course, I've lost the locking tool again. I think it fell on the floor and someone may have swept it away. So I have to get another one, which has been difficult over these past 6 months. The stores are not carrying them like they used to. And remember, if you look at one of my previous videos, it'll show you that you just take the tool out of the kits for the hair beads that you thread the beads onto the ends of the hair. You can use that tool. All right, so anyway, it's been a journey. As you can see here, I'm going to show you. I broke down and went back to interlocking. So when you twist the hair, it poses a problem. Now, this is the new technique that I'm going to use, that I'm using. It at a glance, it looks normal. And I'll show you, hopefully you'll be able to see this. I'm going to turn around, and you'll see the hair, if left alone, it will mat lock. It will mat and lock on its own. So there's a ton of new growth back here, and it is tangling up and locking. What is happening is it's getting super thin. You see how, hopefully you'll be able to see how thin that is there. See how thin this part is, super thin. Get my hair out the way, I can show it to you. This here coming out of the scalp now is super thin, and there is a lot of growth down here because it is breaking off. So what I'm going to have to do, what I'm having to do is separate the locks, of course, and then come down here and separate at the scalp the hair that goes with whichever lock it goes with, and then catch that up in the lock itself. So I'm going to show you the technique that I'm using and why I'm using that technique. So I'm going to switch the camera. Like you see, of course, this is new. All right, so this is what normally happens. This is my scalp here. That's my scalp. And this is the hair coming down like that. And this is the interlock, what's already been interlocked here. This right here is a stress point. And that means that's where the hair is getting stressed out a lot. And therefore, that's where the breakage is occurring here. So remember, these locks are really thin, but if your locks are large, most interlocks are thin, you can make them large. They don't have to be really thin like what I have here, but you can make them a little large. So this is the normal. This is just normal hair growth, normal hair occurrence. If you had a braid here, box braid here, it would be the same thing. The new growth would be here. The box braid would be here. Once you tangle the hair, you're creating like a nice cord. That's what you're doing. So this cord is going to be much stronger than these thin strands of hair. So they're there together, but they're not. Here, they're wrapped and tangled together. So they're going to create a nice, strong structure here, whereas here it's not, and it's going to break here. So I have a lot of breakage here. And in some of my locks, when I went back and looked, there's only like 2-3 strands that are here in this area. So I would have to join those together. So that's what I had to do with some of the locks. Just go ahead and join them together. When you twist the hair, this is what happened when I twist the hair. This is just a regular twist. And again, massive breakage. And I mean massive. Here again is the stress point. Not working so great with the whiteboard, so that's why I'm doing that. So here, it's the lock, which is tangled. It's interlock. So once you interlock it, it doesn't unravel. However, here is the twist. I'm going to do it this way so you can see. That's just a twist. So I just twist it. Trust me, when I do the interlock, because I'm doing it myself and I stop in between, it may take me, I guess, about 6-7 hours or a little longer if I was to just go straight through and do my entire hair. But if not, I stop, it will take me a couple of days. Versus here, if I do the twist, it only takes me 2 hours maybe. All I do here is just twist the hair. It's so fast. I was done in such a short period of time. Now, I've done this at least 4 or 5 times already. I've lost count because one of those times I couldn't take it any longer. I just went ahead and interlocked the hair. And once I did that, I really was starting over, but because it was so much breakage going on. But I am determined to do this because of the time again, and having someone do it later is not going to be advantageous for me. So the twist there is really nice. I have found now what happens is in normal twisting to get your hair to lock, whether it's palm rolling or whatever, it takes a while because the hair, you twist it, it's nice and neat, it has to tangle. And when it's next to another twist, these twists will wrap around each other like so. They'll get tangled up in here. So you'll have a lot of twists that are tangled up together, and you'll have to go back and untwist them so that they're hanging straight by themselves. So the best thing to do is, if you're twisting your hair, to go ahead and put it in a style. Make sure the style is not so tight to the scalp where it's causing breakage, but like a barrel roll style or a corn roll style, something like that, to hold it in place. Even if you put it up, you know, some people pull it up into a bun, however you style it, as long as these ends here are not loose and tangling. That's what you want to avoid. Giving the hair up near the scalp enough time to lock. Now that may take 3 months, 6 months. It doesn't happen overnight with the twist. The interlock is instantly, the twist, it takes a while. So since I'm determined, I think I've come up with a way that will work. So this is what I'm doing now. And again, I have about 4 inches. Ugh, in some places, I have 5 inches of new growth. Because of course I did cheat. I did a spot. I did like the front and not the back. And so the back and the crown had way more new growth. So again, remember, here is your stress point. We always want to be aware of the stress point to limit the stress there. So I'm calling this a combined method. And what do I mean by that? Here is my lock, interlock. And this is the new growth coming down. It's only a few strands. It's really thin in here. Again, it's really thin in here. So here's the new growth in here. And here is the old interlock, and there's a stress point. So there's a bump here. This is a little bit larger here. What I do is loosely interlock. So I'm not doing the normal interlock. I go in here and interlock just a little. So this is my scalp here. And I interlock in sections. And of course, I make sure I interlock right here near the stress point, not right on it, but near the stress point. The reason being, there's going to be some loose hair here. You'll have some loose hair down here too. And that's going to work out for your advantage. So the loose hair here, I go in and I interlock a couple of sections. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a full rotation interlock. You're just going to, this is what I've been doing. I just interlock some, go down that portion, interlock some, loosely interlocking. So I'm not doing the 4 from the 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I'm not doing a full rotation. I may only do 2, and it doesn't matter which 2 I do. So I do a couple here, then I drop down and do a few, drop down and do a few, making sure that one is near the stress point, not on it. Then I do the entire head. Then I come back with this loose hair here. You can then wrap this loose hair around and then twist this, loosely twist it. I don't want it a tight twist like it would normally look really nice and neat. This is the transition. This is going to be the transition part here. Once I get this transitioned okay, then the remaining hair will be fine to twist it. So what I'm doing now is going from a thick section to a thinner section. Now in here, I'll twist this loosely, and then I will braid style or barrel roll the hair so it stays in place. But these loose interlock pieces, portions here, will also keep the hair from unraveling in these spots. Once it stops unraveling in this spot, these hairs here will loosely tangle upon themselves in here. And that's what I'm looking for it to do, tangle upon itself. The hairs here are going to be wrapped here at the stress point, down the stress point, up the stress point, so that I make this area thin. This is a little bump here where the stress point is. I'll go back from time to time, because remember, I told you it's going to take about 3 months at least for this hair to lock. It's going to be growing, still growing at the same time. So every so often I will go back in here with my hair locking tool and attempt to make this area thinner. You can only lock this in so many times to make it a little tighter. Sometimes it's 1 time, sometimes it's twice. And pull it a little taut so this piece will get a little thinner. Then wrap this hair around here. It's going to get wrapped back and forth around these 2 pieces, and it will give it enough girth that it's not so stressed out and causing the hair breakage. When the new hair grows, you're going to do the same thing. When the new growth comes in, because it will, you're going to lock a few. It's not going to be that much. Lock a few. Just the interlock. 1 or 2 interlock pieces. Down here, this is what's going to happen. You're going to lock a few. This is your scalp. You lock a few, and then twist. Once you do that, then you twist it. Here, you've already locked a few, and you locked a few, and you twisted it. So this area is getting thinner. It's loosely, the loose interlock. This is going to be puffy. It'll be a little puffy. And just deal with it. Let it stay puffy, because it's going to help, and this part will be thicker, and it's going to help these 2 pieces. This is your transitional spot here. Transition. This is the transitional area, and this is the area you're most concerned with. This area is going to be okay. You should then notice less breakage. You should not have that much breakage in here. And this is good for people that do have interlock. I've noticed a lot of people with the interlock, just straight interlock, their hair is thinning really bad. And you don't want that hair thinning. That hair is thinning. You see a lot of breakage along the scalp. You see a lot of breakage. And then you see these interlocks, because they're so small, a lot of them are breaking. And so to alleviate that, you may have to join a couple of locks together. The main thing is not to have your hair interlocked or twisted so tight that it's stressing here at the scalp. If you stress here at the scalp, you're going to get massive breakage that will cause hair loss. That's the hair loss breakage you don't want to happen. If it breaks somewhere along here, it'll grow back. It's the hair loss coming out of the scalp that you don't want. You don't want this smooth where no hair is growing whatsoever. So to avoid that, you may end up, you will end up joining a couple of locks together so your locks won't be so thin. But remember, the locks are thin anyway, so it'll just look like shreds. That's my crossover journey. We'll see how it works. And hopefully I can get this video uploaded. My other videos were not able to get uploaded. I lost tons of stuff. And so that's just a catch up of the last few videos that I was not able to upload. So if you decide to take the crossover journey, this is the way you want to go. Have any questions or comments, please hit me up in the comment section. And of course, show a little channel love by hitting the like and subscribe button.